Let's talk franchise management. So it's one of our favorite topics, and especially as it relates to tanking. Okay. Now, I was reading a terrific article by MLB.com. David Adler wrote the article, and he quoted Dan Szymborski from Fangraphs, who does analysis for them. Get ready for this, Brad.
Okay.
Put your nerd hat on for a minute, okay? Position player lineups. Let's my man. Let's talk position player lineups. Okay, so all franchise wide, all 30 franchises sort their position players collective WAR. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Now let's take all of the 30 franchises and talk about when they were last in their 1/3 or lower league wide. So if you take all position players, collectively, our lineup is better than, or is worse than 2/3 of the league,
Okay.
as sorted by WAR, collectively, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2021, there were 10 teams that fell in the lower third. That was the last time that franchise came in the lowest 1/3 league wide. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
Yeah. So, I mean, because when you think about it, it's like, yeah, there has to be a bottom third, right? But it's collectively, right. It's all of their position players are in the bottom third. And I have something for you when you're done. Go ahead and finish.
Okay, sorted by WAR, right? So 10 teams have earned that honor in 2021, and you think that's intuitive, but it's not, because the last time it happened to 4 other teams was in 2020, right? So there are 4 teams in 2020 where 2020 was the last time their entire position player staff collectively ranked in the lowest 1/3. In 2019, there were 3 teams that was as far back as 2019. 2 teams, the last time they fit in the lower third was 2018. 4 teams, the oldest was 2016. Okay, now get ready for this. There's one team in Major League Baseball that has a position player lineup whose collective WAR has not been in the lowest 1/3 of Major League Baseball since 1988. One franchise has never finished, has never been graded this way, right? Their lineup, their opening day position player lineup, has not been in the lower 1/3 since 1988.
I'm going to guess the Yankees. Does it say?
It does say. The Yankees come in, my friend, in, hold on, come on, freaking thing. 2016 was the last time the Yankees lineup ended up that low. Go ahead, try again.
Okay. I don't think it's the Dodgers.
The Dodgers, last time they were that low was 2012.
Okay. Not the Cardinals.
It's the Cardinals.
Really?
The last time the Cardinals had their position players lineup collected by WAR was 1988. The last time they were in the lower 1/3.
Wow.
One team. That's
crazy.
33 seasons. 33 seasons without a combined WAR in their lineup in the lowest 1/3 of the league.
That's crazy. So here's an interesting thing about this though, is that I am certain the Mariners were in the bottom third in 2021. Like, having gone through and looked at their collective WAR,
they are.
But they missed the playoffs by 1 game.
Right.
That's weird.
It's weird.
It's really weird that you can have a bunch of guys who individually stats say they stink. But collectively, they're literally playing Moneyball.
That's exactly
what they were doing.
Yes.
So that's hard to measure a team and its desire to win.
It is by its collective, quote, impact on the game, right? Because this is an attempt to measure raw talent, raw capability.
Yeah, because it's so funny, because I remember looking back Like I said at the Mariners from last year, and being like, man, they stunk at that position. But then at the same time, it's like there was a lot of production coming from there. And I
Right.
think part of it was that one thing that's funny is that specifically looking at third base, Kyle Seager spent, I think he played 140 some odd games at third base.
Yeah.
But when they had to have somebody fill in for him, like I think Dylan Moore filled in for him, and he had a WAR of like 0.9. And then you have like Donovan Walton go play third base for him, and his WAR is like negative 1.6.
Right.
Something like that. So those guys really drag it down when they
They
come in and
do.
fill in, because I don't know
That's
that it's
right.
weighted.
I don't think
It
it's
might
weighted.
it might
From
be,
what I
but
saw,
yeah.
I don't think it's weighted. I just think that anyway. So the couple of questions that came immediately out of this was: is this an evidence of tanking? If we have 10 teams where the last time their collective WAR was in the bottom 1/3 was last year,
That's
franchise in all of
insane.
franchise history. And there's a team was one outlier who's 33 years ago was the last time they were collectively bad by talent pool.
And
It's
it's
fascinating.
I feel like it's one of those things where it's how they choose to put the teams together,
That's right. It has
right?
nothing to do with
Because like,
money.
right, you look at the Cardinals and they are contending every single year, but they also don't
Yeah,
pay anybody. They
that's
traded for Mark
right.
McGuire in the
Yeah,
90s, but that was like it.
I know.
They didn't pay Albert Pujols, which turned out to be a smart move on their part.
Right?
Um, but yeah, it's interesting. But seeing this actually made me think of a tweet that I saw and shared with you this week.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us saw it because Jock Peterson responded to it and was spitting hot fire about it.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Um,
was.
it came out. There was something that came out and said the bottom three teams with for payroll in Major League Baseball were the Guardians at 3.6 million. Sorry, 35.6 million. 3.6 would be pretty bad.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't think
The
that's
Pirates
legal.
at
Actually, it is. That's
there's
the
no floor.
problem.
Yes,
Okay.
the Pirates at 35 million and the Orioles at about 30 million. And
Yeah.
he's like, I feel bad for these fan bases because that's embarrassing. And and it really is. It really is embarrassing. And this is something that Rachel Luba, the agent, pointed out this week. She said, and I quote, all 30 teams, small markets included, are guaranteed at least $100 million annually from TV contracts alone. Now, I'm not saying you have to take that whole $100 million and put it towards payroll because you've got to pay other people, right? I
There's a lot of
understand
other
that.
people. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a whole lot of other people. But at the same time, you're getting revenue from other places as well to
Yep.
help with that, right? Also, you're filthy stinking rich and should be able to pay people. And, like we said, I'm not one to tell people how to spend their money, but you also make a
Sure.
commitment when you buy a Major League Baseball team.
To the
But
fan base, if nothing else. Yep.
yes. But here are the teams with payroll this year under $100 million. Cincinnati, Seattle, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Arizona, Miami, Oakland, and then the other three teams that we mentioned, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore. Now, not all those teams are as egregious,
No.
right?
Yeah.
But they're also not paying. Like Cincinnati had a fire sale.
Yeah.
They traded a bunch of guys, and they're not paying anybody now, hardly.
Right.
The Mariners, one of the things that's funny is that like they tried to go out and get free agents, but nobody came. But then at the
Yeah.
same time, they're kind of holding on to money, waiting to pay their core
Yeah.
because they're going to have to extend some guys. They're going to have to pay some guys. So as a Mariners fan, I'm okay with it. I'm really okay with it. So there's
Yeah.
that. But then there's like Tampa Bay, perennially does not pay anybody. Arizona does not pay anybody. They just extended Ketel Marte today,
First time ever they did a thing.
but it wasn't that much money.
I
It's
know.
5 years, 75 million. I get it. He hasn't stayed healthy since he's been in Arizona, but he's an all-star.
And aren't there
And
opt-outs and stuff? Didn't I see
I
that
would
there were
assume
like
so. I didn't see the
all
details,
kinds of
but
justification for maybe we don't like you anymore?
yeah. But this is the thing with Marte, though, is that he doesn't put butts in seats.
No. And he should because he's exciting when he's
He's
healthy.
very exciting. Yes, exactly right. And that's a problem. They need somebody by his side who puts butts in seats, but nobody else on that team does.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, it's a big topic of discussion around here that
Yeah.
you go see the Diamondbacks to see the other team.
When I came into town, we went and saw the Cubs.
I went and saw the Mariners twice in one weekend,
Yep.
but I'd do that anywhere. So
Yeah, you would. It's just interesting that half of the teams you listed, according to was that Luba, the under 100 million, are on my list of the 10 teams that had the lowest 1/3 last season ever, or
Oh, really?
the last time in franchise history. Yep.
Wow.
I don't know. I just think there's some connective dots here that I need to pay an analyst to come and do for us.